Very good morning, children. In yesterday's class, you learned about the anatomy of a leaf, that is the internal structure of a leaf. So, you recall the parts, what you learned in anatomy of leaf, in that ground tissue. So, ground tissue, it contains large number of chloroplasts like that, and different types of ground tissues are present. Like that you learn parenchyma, sclerenchyma, collenchyma in 9th class. So what type of ground tissue you are going to observe, or what type of parenchyma tissue you are observing in the diagram? Okay, yes. So you got the answer for that. So two types are there. Two types of parenchyma you are observing. Is it not, children? Have you observed the diagram? Yes. So two types of parenchyma you are observing in the diagram. So now what type of parenchyma you are observing? One is said to be palisade parenchyma, and second one is a spongy parenchyma. Spongy parenchyma. So two types of parenchyma you are observing in the diagram of a leaf, TS of leaf, transverse section of a leaf. One is said to be palisade parenchyma and a spongy parenchyma. So have you observed, children? So now if you observe further, what you can see? So do they have same structure, or are you observing any differences in that? Means it is a yes only. So you have some differences in the palisade and spongy parenchyma. Is it clear to you, children? So now let us learn the differences between palisade parenchyma and spongy parenchyma. Differences between palisade and spongy parenchyma. So now we have to prepare table. So now palisade parenchyma, and next one is the spongy parenchyma. So let us observe what differences you are going to see in a palisade parenchyma and a spongy parenchyma. So where are you observing palisade parenchyma? So palisade parenchyma you are observing in the leaf just below the upper epidermis. Present just below the upper epidermis. Then spongy parenchyma, where it is present? It is present below the lower epidermis. Is it clear to you? Then what difference we can see? Arrangement of cells. Next, shape of the cells. Okay. Now how this palisade parenchyma is arranged? The cells are arranged in rows. Is it clear to you? Cells are arranged in the rows. So if we observe like this now, so how this they are arranged in the rows. Whereas here in spongy parenchyma, irregularly arranged. Irregularly arranged. The cells are not regular. So you can observe here like this. Is it not, children? They are irregularly arranged. Now coming to the shape. What is the shape of the palisade parenchyma and spongy parenchyma? So palisade parenchyma is in cylindrical shape. Cylindrical shape. Whereas spongy parenchyma, if we say, it is irregular. Irregular in shape. Is it clear to you? Then coming to the next point here, intercellular spaces. What do you mean by intercellular spaces? The gaps which are present in between the cells. So are you going to observe any gap between the cells, children? Suppose if we see here, you are going to see the gap in between the cells. Is it clear to children? So like that here in palisade parenchyma, intercellular spaces are not much seen. Whereas in spongy parenchyma, more intercellular spaces we can observe. Less intercellular spaces you can observe. Whereas here, more intercellular spaces. More intercellular spaces will be observed, will be seen or observed. You write your own proper sentence. So, less intercellular spaces we are observing in palisade parenchyma, and more intercellular spaces we are going to observe in spongy parenchyma. Coming to the very important point which is related to the process of photosynthesis. Okay, so in this you are going to observe large number of dots. So what are those dots representing? So these dots are called as cell organelles, which are facilitating the process of photosynthesis. So which cell organelle, children? That is a chloroplast, is it not? So here also you are observing the chloroplast, but number it is less. I hope you understood. So here more number of chloroplasts are observed. More number of chloroplasts. More number of chloroplasts are seen. Whereas here if we come to this spongy parenchyma, less number of chloroplasts. Less number of chloroplasts are seen. Is it clear to you? So like that, if you have any knowledge, you frame you add some other points to the differences of palisade parenchyma and spongy parenchyma. So once palisade parenchyma present just below the upper epidermis, you means upper epidermis here. Spongy parenchyma is present towards lower epidermis. Then they are arranged in rows. So in line they are arranged. Then irregularly arranged. Okay. Then they are in cylindrical shape and they are irregular in shape. Not same shape. Then the spaces are very much less. That is less intercellular spaces we are going to observe, and in spongy parenchyma more intercellular spaces we are going to observe. Then coming to the chloroplasts, more number of chloroplasts are present in palisade parenchyma, and less number of chloroplasts are present in spongy parenchyma. Is it clear to children? So these are the differences between palisade and spongy parenchyma. So please make a note of it. It will be given for 1 mark or 2 marks question. Let us learn further how the process of photosynthesis is going to happen. So you know that in chloroplast the process of photosynthesis is going to happen. So Indian Haas, what he said, he proposed that all green parts of the plant are preparing food. Okay, so that was given by him. So many scientists worked on that because the other colored plants means the plant parts which are in different colors are also able to prepare food by the process of photosynthesis. So still the scientists started working on the process of photosynthesis. In the two famous scientists, who are they? So Cavendish and Pelleter, what they have explained. So in 1817 they extracted the chlorophyll, and they said chlorophyll. In the chlorophyll, the process of photosynthesis is going to happen. So later in 1883, Julius van Schatz, he has observed the chlorophyll. He has observed in the chlorophyll of the cell in particular cell organelle. So what is that cell organelle? Chloroplast. In the chloroplast, chlorophyll is present. So chloroplast is studied by here Julius van Schatz. Okay, then you learned about the internal structure of leaf, and how the leaf is able to study, and in what way the mechanism of photosynthesis is going to happen. What are the different steps involved in the process of photosynthesis, how it is going to happen. So it all was studied by another scientist in 1954. Name of the scientist is Daniel I. Arnand. Daniel I. Arnand. So what was his explanation to the field of science? Means so suppose if we break the cell, all the cell organelles are going to be getting damaged. Is it not, children? Then it is not possible for the scientists to study how the chloroplast is going to be helping in preparing, or chlorophyll is going to help in preparing food by the process called photosynthesis. But it was made easy because of this scientist in 1954, Daniel Arnand. Is it clear to you? So what he has done, he has break down the plant cell, because in plant cell only the chloroplasts are present. So he gently break down the plant cell. Gently he break down the plant cell, and he has taken the chloroplast, and it was studied, and he said that in the chloroplast the process of photosynthesis is going to happen. Is it clear to you, children? So here who is that scientist, children? Daniel Arnand broken the plant cell, and he has isolated, or he separated the chloroplast. Only one cell organelle he studied. What is that cell organelle? Chloroplast was studied by. The internal structure of chloroplast was completely studied. Apart from that, the process of photosynthesis, how it is going to happen. Is it clear to you? How it is going to happen? What are the different steps involved in that? Okay, so all that was studied after this work carried out by Daniel Arnand. Is it clear to children? So now let us learn the structure of chloroplast. Chloroplasts are present only in plant cell, children, but not in animal cells. Is it clear to you? So you learned the structure of chloroplast in 9th class also. Now let us learn the diagram of chloroplast once again, because you will be asked this question for sometimes 2 marks or 4 marks. So now let us learn the diagram of chloroplast and functions, how this process of photosynthesis is going to happen. So now chloroplasts are membrane bound structures. Membrane bound structures. Then it contains the three membranes, and these three membranes are Three membranes we can see. The third membrane, it is going to be continuous and it forms the matrix of the pile structures of a grana like. So the third membrane is going to form structures like this. Bundled structures it is going to form. So all these are going to be connected with each other like this. Now let us observe the parts of this diagram. So now this is the diagram of chloroplast. So now let us learn the structure of chloroplast. So membrane chloroplast is said to be a membrane bound cell organelle. Okay, you read in detail in 9th class. So in today's class also you are going to learn, in 10th class also you are going to learn the structure of chloroplast. So it is a membrane bound cell organelle which is said to be disc shaped. Then outer membrane and middle membrane is there. So the third membrane, it forms as a large number of structures. Okay, so what do we call that? Stacked like structures, which we call them as a granum. So granum is singular. So we are going to observe large number of bundled structures which we call as the grana. Okay, grana is plural, granum is singular. Is it clear to you? So the third layer, it forms the stacked structures or bundle like structures which we call them as a grana. Is it clear to you? Then, so there is a colorless fluid like substance which we call it as a stroma. Is it clear to children? In the stroma only the grana are present. Is it clear to children? Then the grana is covered by a membrane which we call it as granum thylakoid, and the stacks of grana are connected with each other with the help of these structures. What do we call them? They are called as a stroma thylakoid. Is it clear to you? Thylakoid is a protein part, children. So the grana and stroma are covered by the membranes which we call them as a grana, granum thylakoid, stroma, stroma thylakoid like. Is it clear to children? So like that it is the structure of a chloroplast. So coming to the next point here, as you know that chloroplast is going to help in preparing the food by the process photosynthesis. We are going to observe starch grain also and lipid globule also, lipid molecules also. So starch are lipids, they are prepared by the plants by the process called photosynthesis. Is it clear to children? So this is the structure of a chloroplast. Then coming to the next point here, the substances which are present in the chloroplast. Yesterday also we learnt about that. So in chloroplast, along with the chlorophyll, so you know that chlorophyll, it gives green color. Is it not children? Chlorophyll, so it gives green color. Green color. Other substances are also there which are giving different colors, and what do we call them? Means all that other colored pigments also. Other colored substances. Other colored pigments. Yesterday only I explained what is meant by pigment, children. Pigment is a coloring substance which is having the capability of absorbing the light of specific wavelength. Is it clear to children? So in Vibgaya colors, if we see, they are having different wavelengths. Is it clear to you? So these pigments which are present in the chloroplasts are having the capability of absorbing the light from the sun. So this chlorophyll and other pigments which are present in the chloroplast, what do? They are going to form a place or center which we call it as reaction center. Reaction center. So in that reaction center only the process of photosynthesis is going to happen. So now let us learn how it is going to happen. So you know that the stroma, whichever is present, entire chloroplast, and the stacked structures which we call them as grana. Okay. So grana is going to help in helping in trapping the solar energy. Have you followed, children? Grana helps in trapping sunlight. Is it clear to you? Means what? Grana takes part in light reactions. Light reactions of photosynthesis. Is it clear to you? You are learning here how the process of photosynthesis is going to happen. What is the mechanism of photosynthesis? So which part of the chloroplast is helping in trapping solar energy, and which part of the chloroplast is helping in converting carbon dioxide to starch? All that in stepwise manner you are going to learn, okay, under the mechanism of photosynthesis. So that entire process, that the structure of chloroplast and how the process of photosynthesis was studied by who is that scientist? Daniel Arnam. Is it clear to children? So now here the grana is helping in trapping solar energy and light reactions. Like in light reactions, what is happening we will learn further. So now we learn fixing of solar energy is happening, which helps in releasing of oxygen or releasing of oxygen and water. Is it clear to you? So that process is happened by grana, which comes under light reactions. Whereas the colorless fluid content whichever is present in entire chloroplast, which we call it as stroma. So in the stroma, what is going to happen? So in the first step, the light is fixed, and the light after fixing in the grana, it is going to help in preparing energy rich molecules, and that energy rich molecules are going to help in fixing the carbon dioxide. So now the stroma, whichever is present in the cell, in this chloroplast, one of the cell organelles, helping in carrying out fixing carbon dioxide or converting carbon dioxide. So that is happening in dark reactions. dark reactions. Is it clear to you? Light reactions are happening in grana. Is it clear to you? And the dark reactions of photosynthesis are happening in a stroma. How it is possible means chlorophyll and other accessory pigments which are present in the chloroplast, they form as a reaction center, and where the steps of photosynthesis, the mechanism of photosynthesis, how it is happening, is going to be happening. Is it clear to children? So in that way, here the chloroplast is playing a crucial role or important role in the process of photosynthesis. Is it clear to you? Now coming to the other points. So where do we observe chlorophyll? So chlorophyll, you know that it is a pigment, and this pigment is present in the membranes of this thylakoid membrane. Okay children. So where it is present? It is present in the are associated or present on the thylakoid membranes. Is it clear to children? Okay. So now let us learn the structure of chlorophyll like. So chlorophyll, it contains one atom of magnesium. Chlorophyll contains one atom of magnesium. One atom of magnesium is present in chlorophyll. So if we compare that chlorophyll and with the other pigments which are present in human body, okay, we'll learn that later. So now, how many types of chlorophyll pigments are there? Means chlorophyll A and B. Okay, chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B are present. Okay, chlorophyll A gives blue-green color. This A will give blue-green color. It is green in color like and B is yellow. B is said to be yellow in a yellow-green. Yellow, light yellow, green color. Is it clear to you? So chlorophyll pigment is present on the or associated with the thylakoid membranes, and it is of two types. Many other types are also there. Here important ones are chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B. So chlorophyll A is associated with blue-green color, and here B is associated chlorophyll B is in yellow or yellow-green in color. Is it clear to you? Then apart from this chlorophyll A and B, we are going to observe other pigments also. Yesterday I said xanthophylls, then carotenoids, phycobilins. So all these we learned or not? So they are all present. So 250 to 400 other pigments are also there. Other accessory pigments are also present. So all this chlorophyll and other accessory pigments, they are going to form as a center, which we call it as reaction center, where the process of photosynthesis is going to be happening. Is it clear to children? So now chlorophyll is a pigment. It contains one atom of magnesium. Okay, and chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B are present, which are associated with the thylakoid membrane. I said. Then chlorophyll A is available in blue-green color, and chlorophyll B is available in yellow-green color like. And here the other pigments are also there of 250 to 400 varieties of pigments are present. 250 to 400 number of pigments are present in the chloroplast along with chlorophyll. Is it clear to you? So they are helping in processing the process of photosynthesis. Is it clear to children? Then now, just now I said chlorophyll is a pigment and it is having one atom of magnesium. I said one atom of magnesium. 1 atom of magnesium it is having. So now if we compare this chlorophyll pigment with another pigment present in the human body, what is that pigment? Means the red color to the blood is given with one pigment. Can you guess, children? You learnt in 9th class. What is the pigment which gives red color to the blood in human body? That is hemoglobin. Is it not? Hemoglobin. Hemoglobin. Chlorophyll is a pigment and hemoglobin is a pigment. So why we are learning here? We are going to compare the structure of a chlorophyll with hemoglobin. We are going to compare the structure of a chlorophyll with hemoglobin. Means what? Because they have similar structure like. So chlorophyll is a pigment which contains 1 atom of magnesium and it is similar to the structure of heme of hemoglobin. Heme means what? Iron. 1 atom of iron is present. Is it clear to children? So now let us recall the functions of these two, chlorophyll and hemoglobin. So hemoglobin, it contains 1 atom of iron. So here chlorophyll 1 atom of magnesium. Okay. So what are the differences between chlorophyll and hemoglobin? Let us just once learn. Now differences how we can write. Chlorophyll is also a pigment and hemoglobin is also a pigment. Is it not, children? So now chlorophyll, it is present in only plant cell. Is it not? Hemoglobin present in animal cells we can write, but we can write here human beings. Even other some of the other animals also it is seen in blood is seen in red color. All mammals. Is it clear to children? So that you have to remember. Then chlorophyll is present in the chloroplast. Which cell organelle? In the chloroplast. Whereas hemoglobin is present in where? Can you guess? So it is present in RBC, red blood cells of blood. Is it clear to you? Chlorophyll is present in chloroplast of plant cell, whereas hemoglobin is present in RBC of blood, red blood cells. Then coming to the next point. So in chlorophyll, just now I said what is present? 1 atom of magnesium. Mg I will write. Whereas here hemoglobin, it contains 1 atom of iron. 1 atom of iron is present. Then coming to the next point, what is the function of chlorophyll? So it takes part in photosynthesis. Is it not? What is the function of chlorophyll? Means it helps in taking part in the process of photosynthesis, preparing food by the plants. That is the starch preparation. Whereas what is the function of hemoglobin? So you know that it is present in the blood. So what is the function? Means that it is acting as a transporting of oxygen as well as carbon dioxide. So it acts as a respiratory pigment. Takes part in respiration. So what does it mean? It carries that hemoglobin, even if it is present in the red blood cells, RBC. What is the function? That hemoglobin is helping in carrying or binding oxygen as well as carbon dioxide. Both are going to be bound. Okay. So in that way you learn about the differences between chlorophyll, hemoglobin, then structure of chloroplast you learned, and in tomorrow's lesson we will learn about the mechanism of photosynthesis, how it is going to happen. Okay, and one question I would like to give you, what is that means? Just now you learned the differences between chlorophyll and hemoglobin. Suppose if I ask you a question, write the differences between chlorophyll and chloroplast. So you please send it to me, the answer you please send it to me. So write the difference, even one difference is enough. What is that? What is the question I am asking you? Chloroplast and chlorophyll. Okay, I want to know the answer from you. Okay, thank you.